Listen up, future brides, because I'm about to spill some serious tea that the bridal industry isn't shouting from the rooftops. You know that dream dress you've been pinning for months? The one that makes your heart skip a beat every time you see it? Well, there's a very real, very swift shift happening behind the scenes in bridal fashion, and the gown you adore today might be quietly, unceremoniously ushered out of showrooms tomorrow. Bridal trends, believe it or not, move faster than you'd think, and certain beloved styles are already on their way to becoming relics of a bygone era. We're talking about a silent, swift evolution, and if you're not clued in, you might just miss your last chance to say yes to the dress you truly want. So, lean in, because I'm going to reveal the specific gown styles that are on the brink of vanishing from bridal boutiques forever. This isn't just about what's new, it's about what's disappearing. And if your heart is set on one of these, you need to act fast. This is your last chance before they become a nostalgic memory. First up, on the chopping block, the over-the-top heavily embellished bygone. Remember those grand voluminous dresses dripping with beads, sequins, and intricate lace from top to bottom, designed to make you look like you just stepped out of a Disney movie? We're talking about gowns with so much fabric you could get lost in them, so much sparkle they practically needed their own spotlight, and so much weight they often required a team of bridesmaids just to help you move. For years, this was the epitome of the princess fantasy, the go-to for brides who wanted to make an undeniable, show-stopping statement. But the tide is turning. The bridal world is subtly yet decisively shifting from that maximalist, more is more approach to a more refined, sophisticated modern queen elegance. Brides today are increasingly opting for gowns that exude confidence and grace without overwhelming their silhouette. The excessive dense beading and the sheer unmanageable volume are becoming less desired. Why? Because modern brides prioritize comfort, movement, and a timeless aesthetic that won't feel dated in 5 years. What's quickly replacing these elaborate creations are understated lines, sleek minimalist designs, and gowns that feature subtle, strategically placed embellishments. Think delicate beading along a neckline, a scattering of pearls on a train, or exquisite lace appliques that enhance rather than dominate the dress. These new styles offer an undeniable elegance and a more contemporary feel, allowing the bride's natural beauty to shine through, rather than being overshadowed by the gown itself. It's a move towards a more sophisticated, less theatrical kind of grandeur. But it's not just the overall silhouette that's changing. Some intricate details are also getting a quiet boot, and you might be surprised by what's next on our list. Next to fade from the bridal scene is the heavily appliqued illusion neckline. For a significant period, this was a wildly popular feature, a clever way to add a touch of modesty or intricate detailing while still maintaining an ethereal, almost bearskin look. We're talking about those sheer, often nude-toned mesh or tulle necklines, meticulously adorned with dense, often stiff, lace appliques that extended from the bodice, up over the shoulders, and sometimes even formed a high collar. The idea was to create the illusion of lace directly on the skin, offering coverage without the bulk of a traditional solid fabric. It was intricate, romantic, and for a while, absolutely everywhere. However, what once felt innovative is now starting to look distinctly dated. Many of these designs, particularly those with very dense symmetrical patterns or stiff heavy lace, can feel a bit rigid and less organic than what modern brides are seeking. The illusion often falls short, appearing more like an added layer rather than a seamless extension of the gown. Brides today are leaning towards cleaner lines and a more natural aesthetic. They're favoring either completely bare neck that highlight the décolletage, simple strapless designs that offer a classic, unencumbered look, or if they do opt for sheer fabrics, they prefer those with very minimal, scattered embellishments. Think tiny, delicate French lace motifs or barely their pearl details that seem to float on the skin rather than heavy embroidered patches. The shift is towards a lighter, more effortless feel, where the fabric and design work in harmony to enhance, not overpower. The heavily appliqued illusion neckline, once a staple, is now being quietly retired in favor of a more refined, less constructed elegance. And speaking of intricate details, the very fabric and feel of gowns are undergoing a dramatic transformation, leading us to our next disappearing style. Get ready to say goodbye to the stiff, ultra-structured satin gown. Now, before you gasp, let's be clear. Classic satin will always have a place in bridal, but we're specifically talking about that heavy, rigid, often unforgiving Duchess or Mikado satin that holds its shape with an almost architectural precision. For decades, this was the fabric of choice for opulent, formal weddings, prized for its lustrous sheen, its ability to create dramatic folds, and its capacity to craft incredibly structured silhouettes like grand ball gowns or sharp alines. It exuded a sense of traditional luxury and formality. However, while undeniably classic, The heavy, almost unyielding feel of this traditional stiff satin can severely lack movement and, crucially, comfort. Imagine trying to dance, sit, or even just move naturally throughout a long wedding day in a gown that feels more like a beautifully sculpted piece of art than a garment designed for wear. Modern brides, above all else, prioritize ease and flow. They want to feel beautiful, yes, but also comfortable and unencumbered, able to fully enjoy every moment of their special day without feeling confined by their dress. This growing emphasis on comfort and natural movement means that the era of the stiff, unyielding satin gown is slowly but surely drawing to a close. What's rapidly replacing it are fabrics that offer luxurious drape and fluidity. We're seeing a huge surge in popularity for flowing crepe, which offers a sleek, sophisticated matte finish and incredible movement. Soft silks, like charmeuse or chiffon, which glide beautifully and feel exquisite against the skin. And lightweight, ethereal organzas that create volume without the weight, cascading beautifully and moving effortlessly with every step. These fabrics allow for gowns that are both elegant and practical, offering a modern sensibility that the rigid satins simply can't match. But it's not just the fabric. Some once iconic silhouettes are also losing their once firm grip on the bridal market, and the next one is a big one. Prepare to see less and less of the extreme mermaid or trumpet silhouette. For a long time, this was the ultimate choice for brides who wanted to flaunt their curves and make a dramatic, show-stopping entrance, characterized by a fit through the bodice, waist, and hips. Flaring out dramatically at or below the knee, the extreme mermaid or trumpet was designed to create an hourglass figure and an undeniable wow factor. It was bold, sexy, and utterly glamorous. However, its undeniable aesthetic appeal often came at a significant cost: comfort and mobility. These gowns are notoriously restrictive, severely limiting a bride's ability to walk, sit, dance, or even comfortably breathe for extended periods. Imagine trying to navigate your wedding aisle, greet guests, or bust a move on the dance floor when your legs are practically bound together by fabric. For a long wedding day that involves hours of celebration, photography, and interaction, the impracticality of such a restrictive silhouette is becoming a major deterrent for modern brides. The trend is moving away from purely aesthetic sacrifice towards a more balanced approach that combines beauty with functionality. What's quickly replacing these ultra-constricting styles are softer, more forgiving trumpet silhouettes that flare out a little higher or with more ease, allowing for greater movement. We're also seeing a strong return to modified lines, which offer a flattering shape without the extreme constriction, and elegant column dresses that skim the body beautifully, providing both shape and remarkable freedom of movement. These alternatives allow brides to feel stunning and confident without sacrificing their comfort or their ability to fully engage in their wedding day. The emphasis is now on celebrating the body in a way that feels natural and effortless, rather than forced and uncomfortable. And if you thought that was a bold move, wait until you hear which once ubiquitous fashion detail is practically extinct in bridal. Next, on the list of disappearing bridal trends is the peplum detail. Remember when peplums were everywhere? Not just in everyday fashion, but also making their way onto wedding gowns. This was that short, gathered, or pleated strip of fabric attached at the waistline of a bodice or jacket, designed to create the illusion of an hourglass figure and add a touch of architectural interest. For a while, it was seen as a chic, contemporary addition to bridal wear, offering a unique silhouette that stood out from traditional lines or ball. It often appeared on fitted sheath dresses or even as an accent on a more structured gown, aiming to define the waist and add a subtle flair. However, the peplum, while having its moment in the broader fashion world, rarely translated into timeless elegance in bridal. More often than not, it added unnecessary bulk to the midsection, creating a silhouette that could sometimes appear boxy or, worse, unflattering rather than enhancing the bride's figure. What felt trendy one season quickly began to look dated the next, failing to achieve that coveted, enduring bridal aesthetic. The very nature of the peplum, designed to be a distinct, often rigid addition, often disrupted the smooth, flowing lines that are now highly sought after in wedding dresses. As a result, this once popular detail has quietly, but decisively, faded from bridal collections. What's replacing it are designs that prioritize clean, defined waistlines that are achieved through expert tailoring and thoughtful construction rather than an added fabric flourish. We're seeing subtle draping that flatters the figure without adding volume, and, more commonly, simply peplum-esque designs that streamline the silhouette, allowing the natural lines of the gown and the bride's body to speak for themselves. The focus is now on sleek, uninterrupted lines that elongate and flatter, proving that sometimes less truly is more, especially when it comes to creating a timeless bridal look. It's not just about what's added to a dress, but how it's secured that's seeing a significant shift in the industry. brace yourselves. Because the corset lace-up back is rapidly becoming a thing of the past in modern bridal fashion, for years this was an incredibly popular choice, especially for brides who wanted a customizable fit, or that classic, romantic, almost fairy tale aesthetic. The lace-up back with its crisscrossing ribbons woven through eyelets offered remarkable adjustability, allowing the gown to be cinched in perfectly for an ideal fit, accommodating slight weight fluctuations or providing extra support. It was also seen as a beautiful, intricate detail, adding a touch of vintage charm or dramatic flair to the back of a dress. However, despite its benefits, the downsides have increasingly outweighed the appeal for contemporary brides and even for bridal boutiques. For starters, lacing up a corset back is incredibly tight. It requires patience, precision, and often the assistance of multiple people, which can add significant stress and delays on an already packed wedding morning. Furthermore, while it can offer a perfect fit, the lace-up corset back often looks less polished or sleek than modern alternatives. The visible lacing, while sometimes charming, can interrupt the clean lines of a gown and, depending on the execution, can sometimes appear bulky or less refined compared to seamless closures. Brides today are seeking efficiency, elegance, and a sophisticated finish. What's quickly replacing the laborious lace-up are elegant rows of delicate, fabric-covered buttons that run down the length of the back, offering a classic, refined look that's both beautiful and easy to secure. Hidden zippers are also increasingly prevalent, providing a seamless, invisible closure that maintains the clean lines of the gown. And for those who still want a dramatic back, open back designs with subtle closures or minimalist straps are gaining immense popularity, offering a contemporary edge and a breathtaking view without the fuss of lacing. The shift is clear. Convenience and a polished aesthetic are now paramount, pushing the once ubiquitous corset back into the archives. And finally, a hemline that once made a daring statement is quietly receding from the main stage. Finally, we arrive at the high-low hemline, a style that once offered a playful and daring alternative to traditional gown lengths, but is now steadily receding from the main stage of bridal fashion. This hemline, characterized by being significantly shorter in the front and gradually lengthening to a full-length train in the back, had its moment, particularly for brides who wanted to showcase their fabulous wedding shoes or add a modern, unconventional twist to their look. It was seen as a fun, flirty choice, a way to combine the practicality of a shorter dress for dancing, walking, etc., with the formality of a train. However, the high-low hemline, while unique, has increasingly been perceived as less formal. For traditional wedding ceremonies, it often struggled to strike the right balance between casual and elegant, sometimes appearing neither fully formal nor truly chic. For many, it became a niche choice, if it was chosen at all, often relegated to very specific, less formal wedding settings like beach ceremonies or garden parties, rather than becoming a mainstream option. The visual break in the hemline could also sometimes disrupt the overall flow and grandeur of a bridal gown, making it feel less cohesive or timeless. As bridal fashion leans back towards classic elegance and understated sophistication, the high hemline has largely been phased out of mainstream collections. What's replacing it is a clear return to classic full-length gowns for traditional ceremonies, offering an uninterrupted sweep of fabric that exudes timeless grace and formality. For brides who do desire a shorter length, the trend is now towards intentionally chic, uniformly shorter dresses. Think elegant T-length or knee-length designs that are chosen specifically for more modern, casual, or destination events, embracing their shorter length fully rather than creating a hybrid. The high-low hemline, once a bold statement, is now a rare sight, making way for more definitive and universally accepted silhouettes. So, there you have it. A candid look at the gown styles that bridal stores are quietly but definitively phasing out. The industry is in a fascinating state of flux, moving swiftly towards a future where comfort, understated elegance, sleek lines, and a more personal reflection of the bride take precedence over fleeting trends or restrictive designs. We're seeing a clear shift away from the overly embellished, the stiffly structured, the overtly restrictive, and the subtly dated. Instead, the focus is on fluidity, minimalist sophistication, and gowns that allow you to move, breathe, and truly be yourself on your most important day. If your heart is genuinely set on one of these disappearing styles, perhaps you've always dreamed of a grand, heavily beaded ball gown or a dramatic extreme mermaid, then now, truly, is your last chance. These gowns are becoming relics faster than you might imagine, and soon they'll only exist in archives or on resale sites. Don't let your dream dress become a "should have bought it when I had the chance" regret. But ultimately, remember this: your wedding dress should be an extension of you, a reflection of your unique style and personality, not just a slave to fleeting trends. Knowing what's out there and what's on its way out simply empowers you to make a choice you won't regret. a choice that feels authentic and beautiful to you. So, what style will you choose before it's gone forever?